Welcome back to What Arty Noobs for General Disturbance. You're looking at the T-100 LT. It's a Tier 10 Soviet light tank. It's located on the north spawn of Clip Encounter, and it's under the command of Targy of 3RTR. Game on. Well, it's one of the most stealthiest tanks in the game. It's only armed with a 100mm gun, but it's very flat indeed. In fact, they probably had to find midgets to actually drive the thing because it was so small that basically there wasn't enough room for the crew. Anyway, it does have a crew of only 3, the commander, gunner, and of course the driver. And it is a light tank, so it's supposed to find the enemy and try and communicate that information to their teammates. Now, the 100mm gun is capable of 300 alpha, and it'll penetrate 230mm of armor with standard APCR, and you've got a very fast shell velocity as well. There you can see 1200 meters per second, which means it's point and shoot even at a distance. It's also got premium AP, 300 alpha, 248mm of pen, 790 meters per second, so a bit slower, but it does have a bit more penetration. Okay, so he's gone up to this position and he can see most of the enemy, but most of the enemy can't see him, even though he's sitting here on these heights in full view of the enemy. Yeah, that's how stealthy it is. Now he has fired, so he'll probably get spotted now, and he did. Yeah, so that's the drawback. You see, if you fire, that big puff of smoke actually indicates you're here. And he's gone into hiding just for a moment because the enemy team does have an Arty. It's only a batch at 155.55, but he could get hit by it. In the meantime, he's actually getting some nice damage on the enemy tanks in third person. He's been joined by a T10. It's a Tier 10 game with Tier 8 tanks in it. And yes, at this moment, he's quite happy to be sitting here, occupying and watching the enemy on this side of the map. But he's got to remember there is a tank destroyer or some tanks in the sniper's nest. As far as he knows, there's a Scorpion up there, but there's also a wreck. Somebody's already been wiped out. Yeah, you can see he's auto-aiming onto these enemy tanks and hitting them, but we've got somebody coming towards us, a P-44 Pantera. Looks like somebody fired in our general direction, and now the Pantera's here. You'll have to deal with him. Okay, so he's auto-aimed on, pumps one in, gets a nice hit, 282, and the guy goes down to the Emil. So he's gone unspotted, but he's auto-aimed on, and he's still pumping that damage in. He's already racked up 1,400, nearly 1,500 hit points of damage from this position, and done 1,000 of spotting assist. Okay, who's next? No, can't really get a shot on that T-95, not in the auto-aim position. So he's actually decided to move up on the enemy. Now it has got a very high top speed, 72 kilometers an hour, so going around the cliff edge, you need to watch out because you could fly over the edge, and that would really cramp your style. There's the Scorpion that we saw earlier. He's been spotted. Whoa, had a bit of an excursion there. But now he's below the gun depression on the Scorpion, so he's spotting this guy. And yeah, his teammates are having a lot of fun putting that guy out the game. He is a one-shot, so we could drive round there now and take him out and then start shooting at the enemy. Oh, there you go, he's gone. And in fact, the enemy tanks have been spotted. There's an AFK in the cap area. And their Batchat's been spotted. He did try. Only 13 hit points, but he's going to hit the Char Future first. Saves the trouble of our Arty doing the job, but okay, that rocket is actually getting in the way. But he's auto-aiming on. Standard reload for this tank is 7.54 seconds. Targy's got it down to 10.58. Or is that? Oh, that's because he's stunned. Now, I did wonder why it's a higher reload time, but that's the stunning effect. His reload's now gone to 7.47. You see the Arty's not appreciating him being here. Oh, well, okay, only 93 hit points of damage from that. And he's now decided to come down the cliff, well, a bit haphazard. There you go, he's down. So, there's not many enemy left. There's only 6 of them. And most of them are actually on the north side of the donut. And he's now going to be sitting around their spawn point, shooting at them in the rear. Okay, T-100 hiding behind a rock. Not going to help you. It's a singular advantage to being behind the enemy, so they can't actually move anywhere without being shot at. It's called the ultimate crossfire, I suppose. You're coming up behind the enemy, so they can't hide anywhere. Okay, that T-100 trying to get behind the rock, but he's still taking rounds. And an ELC M90's appeared. I don't suppose he's going to come in our direction. Well, the T-100 managed to fire a round back at us. 387, that's not so bad. And in fact, our teammates have turned up, and that's it. That's the end of the game. It's all over. Here's the end of battle stats, and that was a second-class tanker for targy of 3 RTR in the T-100 LT. In fact, that was the first time he's had a second-class tanker in this tank. In fact, he hasn't played it that much at all. He got a spotter badge for spotting at least 1,000 hit points of damage, 5 for effect for doing more damage than hit points to his own vehicle, and he got a Confederate as well for hitting more of the enemy than anyone else on his team. At least 6 tanks subsequently taken out by other teammates. His win rate in the game, 3,678, which is Super Unicum standard. Let's have a look at team score. Well, he did get the highest damage in the game, but it wasn't 20% of the enemy hit pool, and that's why he didn't get the high caliber. 3,518 hit points of damage. Second highest damage was the Kilana with 2,862. And the third highest damage turned out to be the M53, M55 on his own team, who managed 2,595 hit points of damage. When it came to kills, though, it was actually the ELC M90 on the enemy team who got the most kills. He had got 4 in that game. 3 kills went to the Kilana, the Emil 2, and 2 kills went to the M53, M55, the Tornvan, the T10, the T110E5, and on the enemy team, the AMX 13105. When it came to base XP, he actually got 947, which puts him in second place. The top scorer being the Kilana, 1,152, being the only player to get over 1,000 base. But he got second place with 947. 860 went to the Tornvan. And that means that he got the highest damage, joint lowest damage on number of kills, because he didn't get any, and second highest on base XP. He fired only 17 rounds in the game, got 14 direct hits on the enemy and 12 penetrations, 3,518 hit points of damage, of which 2,342 were at more than 300 meters. You notice he was actually shooting in third person most of the time. He wasn't using the sniper view because, of course, he wanted to see what was going on. 2 hits received from the enemy. 1 was penetration, 2 hits by way of splash damage as well, and 5 enemy vehicles spotted, 7 enemy vehicles damaged, 2,677 hit points of spotting assist. On a premium count, he actually earned a profit of 16,199 credits for the game. He got 7 bonds for this being tier 10, and he took away 5,683 experience points, including 2,842 for a mission completion. So, yes, he says he gets to like this beast, could get to like this beast. It is an unusual tank, but it's more of, well, it can do a spotting, a sedentary role, and just find a bush and park there and not be seen and spot the enemy. But it's very much better as an active spotter in terms of the fact if it's running around the battlefield at high speed, it's still very difficult to be seen and spotting a huge amount of the enemy team. Hope you enjoyed that replay. If you did, please give this video a like. Do subscribe to our channel. Leave a little comment down below because it feeds the algorithm. And thank you for watching.